Hello, listeners, and welcome to a blockbuster edition of the 2 Units podcast. We have Group 1s coming out of our rectum this weekend, to be fair. We've got a stack at Rosehill Gardens, 5 in fact, and then also 1 at Caulfield in the William Reid Stakes. I won't go through every single one of them in the intro at Rosehill, but it is Golden Slipper Day, and we've got plenty on the menu when it comes to the supper and pack Ya Nags as well. It's great to have you back with us, all for the first time here on the 2 Units potty. Nick Foot's my name. Dave Streelaw is this man's name. How are you, brother?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I've been working on something during the week.
Okay.
We've got 5 Group 1s at Rosehill, a Group 1, the return of Jimmy Sarr at Caulfield. I got lead in my pencil. Lead in my pencil. I got lead in my pencil.
Okay, well,
I'm firm for it.
I'll give you a song.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
No
I'm
worries.
feeling it. Oh,
Yeah.
jeez. What a week of racing.
You think that song's getting a workout at the moment, but it's going to go missing at some point. So
Yeah,
it's,
it is.
It's not an all year round thing, so we're allowed to flog this as it stands.
It is. I'm actually in the car on Saturday after we work on Saturday morning. I'll be driving for about 4.5 hours up to the high country for a little getaway.
Okay.
And yeah, the old satellite radio is going to get a workout.
Are you going to...
We're certainly not going to be listening to road trip tunes. It's just going to be Matty Hill into Flindell into the rest.
Oh, poor Mrs. Saltsy. She's going to get there thinking, I've compiled this fantastic Spotify playlist for the road trip, and you're just going to be imagining where your horse is in run, guided by Darren Flindell and Matt Hill.
I've got one. It's called 927.
This fresh, delicious, tasty, meaty, turkey-filled, cold-cut combo. I eat 3 every day to help keep me strong.
It's episode 232 of the 2 Units podcast. On episode 121, I sent KO packing for having the worst app.
You're doing reruns?
Ever.
$42 a month now. It's a disgrace.
I'm not doing reruns. I'm finally bringing him to the supper for somewhere in between those. Somewhere in between getting sent packing, and now they've decided to clean up their act and finally fix their app. But it's more to the point, when you're funneling that much money into the streaming service, you want a good bloody app.
Yeah, I noticed the app did an update on my TV the other day. So have they worked on the algo?
They've worked on the algo, yeah.
Oh, okay,
so it just makes it, to be honest, it feels like I've got a clearer pathway between Fox Footy and racing.com, which is pretty much all I use KO for.
No, it's a fair dart. They keep jacking the price up though, so
Yeah.
I don't know, some sort of 2 unit subsidy wouldn't go astray.
It's a work expense.
You know I love a current affair. I was watching it last night, and there's this guy, Sayaban, his name. He's an Indonesian fella. He lives in far north Queensland. And he identifies himself as a Pastafarian, which is sort of like a religion, a bit of a mock religion. And he wears a colander like a pasta strainer, a silver one, strapped to his head under a chin. And he literally wears it everywhere. He got away with having it on his Queensland driver's license photo until people started drawing attention to it. And then the government stepped in and telling him to take a new one.
Yeah.
But I think we need to get around him at the supper. One, because if we're cooking Italian, we need a pasta strainer. And this guy literally walks around with one on his head. Like, that's commitment. I don't care if it's a bit of a taking the piss religion. If you're going to commit to wearing a pasta strainer on your head everywhere you go, well, you got my vote. So I think it should be recognised.
Does he practice any sub-strain of that religion, Saltsy? Is there is he like devout ravioli type operator, or is it just generally pasta?
Well, it's got to be sort of all sorts of pasta, doesn't it? On a current affair, he was cooking a lot of spaghetti.
Okay.
He likes spaghetti.
Yeah.
But also as well, there's a warrant for his arrest in Indonesia.
Okay.
Because it's a crime to actually take the piss out of recognised religions. So if he goes back, he faces 5 years jail for wearing a colander on his head. So I think we need to give him asylum here. The government needs to get around him. The amount of people doing the wrong thing from overseas far outweighs this one guy wearing a strainer on his head.
I thought you meant give him asylum, like in our studio. we're going to house him here at the 2 Units.
Well,
embassy.
we could get him on 3 units.
We could house hhim right here in the stables.
Yeah, we'll open up one of the doors. Like Jenkins' bed in basketball. Get him in a drawer.
Let's move on.
The school regulations says it what? So you will listen to every damn word I have to say. I seen those finger paintings you bring home and they suck.
One of the stupidest starts to the show, but that's okay. That's what we do here. It's Pack Your Nags time. Sults, you got a fair list of things you want to get off your chest here today by the looks.
I'm not calm. I'm furious. And there is an epidemic at the moment of online advertisements for real estate properties on realestate.com using virtual furniture and basically applying artificial intelligence to the listing that it's advertising. And I think that there needs to be a legal crackdown on this. It's a disgrace. You look at a place and the photos, it's bright, it's light. They use AI furniture, of which I've got a bit of an eye for, but it looks fantastic. Everything looks great. And then you go there and it's like a Balinese slum. Saiban with a colander on his head would rather move back to Indonesia and face 5 years of jail there than live in some of these trash holes that they actually make look good online. I think it should be illegal to advertise something that's a real space applying artificial intelligence, because that's not the actual space. It's a disgrace. They're sort of sneaky enough as it is, real estate agents, without then applying that. I think it should be illegal.
I think you've sort of buried the lead here. Are you sort of looking to invest in the market in one of the possibly the worst times to invest in the market? Gee, you must be going all right, Salty.
This isn't about my personal finances, mate. This is about good people being done wrong by.
Talk about people just setting the world on fire at the moment. Jeez.
And I'm furious.
Looking to purchase in this market.
I'm furious, mate. It should not be allowed to happen.
Up and away is the Sultan. No, I agree. The CGI renders too of actual properties. So like when... they've been going on for years. When I was moving to Melbourne years ago, and like the CGI renders, they were pretty bloody good.
Even that long ago?
You're looking to even like rent a place. And I was like, oh, I'll look into this apartment. And almost every time I was like, that's not real. That's a CGI render. And I was like, oh, okay. Maybe I don't have the eye for it like you. So
are you talking before?
I'm talking the whole thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like, we'll rent this place. It's like, yeah, in 7 years.
Yeah.
When it's finished. So
plan no good.
No, hey, people with Samsung Galaxies need to pack their nags. This is
a bit elitist.
This is, well, they've been ruining group chats for many, many years, and they need to be called out for it. The amount of WhatsApp groups and unnecessary WhatsApp groups that I have to be a part of just because one idiot will not assimilate and get with the program and get an iPhone.
Go easy on the assimilation.
Then they need to pack their nags. So if you're listening to this show via a Samsung Galaxy at the moment, or any Android for that matter, go into Spotify, give us 5 stars, leave a review, and then pack your nags.
Are you packing people that won't assimilate, or Samsung Galaxy users?
Android users, Sultan.
Android users.
Be very careful. Just while we're on that as well, this is punching this out on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Click subscribe on the YouTube page. We'll drop a little link in there.
Give us a like.
Yeah.
People get around us.
Yeah, give us a like. Leave a comment. What do you think of the show? We'll get to the races soon. You just got to listen to us, get through our stuff. But follow us on Spotify as well.
You know what I think about YouTube? I think it's the greatest app out there. I've said it before. I'll go on record again, because the comment streams, unlike a lot of social media platforms, are basically 99% positive.
Yep.
So hopefully that continues on the 2 Units podcast as well.
I think that's horses for courses, mate. I think
it's been pretty good so far.
Yep. No,
I check in every now and then to see if I need to find someone's IP address.
Do you do a deep dive when you cop hate?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I do as well.
And it ends up making me feel good about myself.
I'm the same.
I end up feeling sorry for the person.
I need to
little bit.
I need to confirm how pathetic that person's life is.
I go through their replies and I see, geez, this person's in a bit of a dark place.
Yeah.
Like, literally everything that they say is just abusing people. Like, that's not much of a life to live.
Yeah, it's not. They can pack their nags.
Yeah, off you go. Have you seen this? You heard about this? Influencers injecting peptides.
What's going on with this? This is like our algorithms are in sync.
Yeah.
Like a frat house.
Well, I just don't...
menstrual cycle.
Why are people going so far these days just to avoid like good diet and exercise and drinking lots of water?
Yep.
Like, that contributes to skin health and weight management. And it has anti-inflammatory properties for the body as well. Like, just worry about that before you start injecting yourself. And there's some genuine influencers, people with big followings, a lot of this stuff is on the grey market. It's not quite black. It's not quite that dark.
I haven't heard of that.
It's the grey market, but it's still not quite.
Okay.
They still are advising, when you're getting these peptides from places that aren't actually prescribed by a doctor, you still don't actually know where they come from. And they're being advised, this may not be suitable for human use. And they're actually getting needles and injecting themselves on video. I think that there's a little bit of a morality issue about that.
No, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
That space is... And what are the actual... There's a fair few genuine cons in terms of regulation of your body and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, there would be.
Too. So,
I'm all for influencing different products or whatnot, but that's getting a bit murky.
Well,
isn't
it's anything. It reminds me of another jab that a lot of people were once taking, salts, and there's no long-term research around it.
Oh, there was at the time, wasn't there? Yeah.
There's a few risks.
Still wait for the apology from Pfizer. 120 million bucks it cost the Victorian government. Now it's 125 million. Hey, what about this? Speaking of tax and things that and just the government pissing you off. So every year they just raise the tax on alcohol and tobacco, which is just ludicrous.
Yep.
And it forces a black market. I saw a slab of Jack Daniels and Coke at Liquorland the other day, and it was at the front because it was on special. It was discounted.
This is 24
This was discounted 24 JD and Cokes
cans,
375s, $155, and it was being advertised as on sale.
That is deplorable.
You used to be able to get a slab of real McCoys for $30.
Jeez.
They were putrid, but you could still get a slab of Jacks for $50.
They were genuine fighting juice.
Yeah.
My mates used to take those and just fight.
Yeah, you couldn't drink them unless you were the real McCoy.
I was more of your Red Bears type operator, I didn't like the dark spirits.
I went through a bit of a cider stage, and then I realised, Mercury, apple cider.
Oh, Mercury.
That's Tasmanian, isn't it?
I don't think so.
Isn't it?
No.
Okay. There's a lot of apples down there. That's what I hear.
It's the apple isle.
Yeah.
My mum used to polish the old Mercury ciders straight into some Southern Comfort and Cokes.
Yeah, nice.
The SoCos.
Yeah, good times. Well, now it'll cost you $1,000.
We used to run competitions back in the early days on our show, and we'd give booze bud vouchers away. It'd be $50. People would get one drink for that now.
That reminds me, there's a listener of this show, Kirby Ormond.
Yeah.
And I bought a slab of cruisers for him and I once on the day after New Year's Day when we went to Summer Days, and they were $45. And he said he'd pay me back for half, and he still hasn't paid me back.
Yeah.
That was 2007, I think.
I actually saw his... I saw some of his socials yesterday, and he hit a hole-in-one, Kirby Ormond, on the 17th.
Well, that means he needs to shout the bar.
Of the Junes, and he
Cruisers.
needs to shout half a carton of cruisers for his mates.
Pay up, pal.
You know what I love about Betfair footy?
What's that, Salts?
It's not you versus the bookies. It's punter versus punter.
So you set the odds, or take them if you like them.
Yep. And as the market moves, you can back, lay, or even trade your position. It's proper strategy stuff.
It's where sport meets trading, and it's a completely different way to bet.
So if you're ready to level up, get Betfair on your side.
You can even follow all of our Saturday specs. Download the Betfair app today. Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. I'm very excited to get into this edition of SULTS SPECS, and if you do want to follow along, head to your Betfair app, expert tips page, go to 2 units, click follow, and you can follow them all. They're in chronological order for you across Saturday. What more could you genuinely ask for, Salts?
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's
very good. That's excellent.
That's it.
It's outstanding, actually.
It is. It is outstanding. Before we get into the track conditions, we were just chatting before the show and looking through the tip sheet. You and I are we're shaking hands.
Yeah.
We're blowing bubbles into the sky. What else are we doing at the start of the meet? We're getting around
Holding each other's willies at the urinal.
I wasn't going to go that far, but yep, a pretty good analogy.
Yeah.
They're the things we're doing. And by the end of the specs, we're getting a 6-pack of real McCoy and going outside and fighting each other.
Things get dark and stormy.
Yeah.
And I've seen as well some of your selections, and I've got some holes to poke. But before we get there, I think we become best friends. We do our activities, and then things turn.
Your hole poking's not going well over the last few weeks, Saltsy, because...
Oh, well, if I poke a hole in one this week, Gentle Steel, you were waiting for me to... I actually thought about saying, nice play with Gentle Steel, and then I just thought, literally 4 horses got scratched, including one that was going to win and then 2 others that were chances. So it just didn't apply. It just wasn't right.
Weird way to say congrats for fighting the winner footy, but let's get to the track conditions at Caulfield.
The rail is true. Now, we know it was out 9 metres last week, and they didn't want anything to do with the inside section. So I think
it was a weird ass track.
Yeah,
like visually, and like I know
it wasn't to say that it wasn't seen coming. When the rail's out at Caulfield, they get off the fence.
It was very much exaggerated though, wasn't it? Like to see runners several lanes off up the back. Like, that's rare that you see that.
Yeah, I had to, but from a betting perspective, I didn't have really an issue with the track. Like Jigsaw led and won the last.
Well, I'd prefer a track like that.
Yeah,
than
exactly.
A severe on-pace bias.
Yeah,
like, I'm just saying, like visually, like punters that listen to this show and tune in every week would be going, "What the fuck's going on there?"
Well, a way to simplify how it could play this week. If last week it was out 9 and the inside was cast, well, you've got fresh lanes 1 to 8. So you're suspecting anything outside of 8 is that ground from last week that they didn't really want to go near. So I'm deducing from that lanes 1 to 8 will be best. Wide sweeping runs will be a negative, as is generally the case recently with the rail true at Caulfield, because recent meetings have favoured those near the pace. Light southerlies, they don't significantly impact that, but they certainly don't hurt it.
Yep.
Particularly out of the sprint shoot, 1,000 to 1,200 metres. So I'm setting up for a track where I want to be with horses that are forward to midfield. Okay,
let's start in race 1, and we're both going to combine forces here with Karying Chia. It's a benchmark 78 over 1,200 metres, but looks mighty progressive.
They're calling him Karying Fine Cotton because the way that he's won his first 2, I think they've brought over Rising. They've painted Rising.
I reckon he's doing some sneaky disguise stuff.
I reckon they've painted Rising because this guy's belting him. He wasn't there fitness-wise first up, and the stable said that, so they were going to ride him cold. And then he produces the fastest close of the night at Pakenham, beats a subsequent winner, and then he jumps well again. He's actually an on-pace horse, but he jumped well from a shoot start wide gate at Seymour last start, so they just allowed him to float back and find his feet. Time overall was fast. He produced the 5th fastest last 200 metres of the day, but the 4 last 200 metre splits that were faster than him were over the same distance in a race that went 12 lengths slower to the 600. So there was merit on the clock. He drops 4 kilos. Mick D lets Immortal Star and Sassy Boom go, and he just parks in behind them. I'm really confident that, with that weight drop and the way he's quite progressive, that the rise to 1,200 metres will suit her. I actually spoke to JD after he won, and they were thinking about taking him to a handicap at Albury today over the 1175, but this is worth more and it hasn't come up that strong. So I'm willing to trust their judgment and placement as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Up in class, down in the weights, progressing nicely. I thought even if Dancing Boom could kick up from 1, he might just find the 1-1 there and...
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
See you later. So I'm with you. Karying Chia in the first. We'll get to race 5 now. We're going to skip the next few races. That's a real go and do your shopping sort of areas, isn't it? Go have a nice lunch. There's not a lot to like there, I wouldn't have
Race
thought.
2's Dimp. Deflation in my pencil. That's a midweek staying race.
That's wondering where we're going.
And then the race 3, 2-year-old unknowns. Race 4, get a good feeling, should win, has to go 12 to 16, but better suited there than Strictly Business. And then, the rest sort of fall away. So fair call. Let's get on to race 5. And one that I think is a good bet. So do you.
Yeah, it's Verdo. He's come back a racehorse, hasn't he? Yeah. Like we said after that first start, you were with him at a good price. He just wanted to bloody win. He sort of bustled his way out and he wanted to find the line. And you're like, yeah, that's a good horse. I was actually against him again second up. I was with She's an Artist. She's an Artist was still very good. Verdo was just stronger on the line, wasn't he? But there was that margin back through the field. You've got fitness on side here compared to the key rivals, which I think is the big plus in Verdo's column. So I'm pretty keen to be with him.
I made a mistake last start and I wasn't pleased with myself, and I'm going to learn from it. because I had priced him tighter to She's an Artist than the market, but there was just something about the race that was keeping me out. But at the end of the day, he sort of touched 556, and hindsight says it was a big price because he had good numbers, and the market was still just latching on to that big number She's an Artist ran, and now we know what she is. She's not that number. He was tough late. He was in for the fight first up as well. He's still on the up. He drops in weight. He's got that will to win. I think with 51 kilos, you got Al Rocco drawn inside, who does have some natural pace, but he's better suited over further. They just press the button out of that chute.
First up, big weight as well. Just with he's been smashed, Verdo. He opened 340. I'm not sure how long that was up for Salts, but he's into $2.25 now. I know Pop Award comes out, which is 5 cents deductions, but that's a massive early go.
Yeah, I think we'll end up getting closer to 270, 280 on the exchange. Yeah,
so
he's at his bottom.
Yep, that was going to be the follow-up. So a little sit and wait.
Yeah,
but you want to take one on from the inside draw as well, who's a good horse, but probably the setup's not ideal.
King Zephyr, he's been flopping out the gates and also at the jump outs. His recent jump out at Cranbourne was a beauty. He mowed him down late, but I just think inside draw Caulfield, first up, he's going to get better over further. He gives a good horse like Vido with no way to head start. And big swinger too. He's sort of been missing the start as well. He's got some good numbers, and he hit the line really hard in a recent jump out at Cranbourne. Yeah, he's only not started favourite once in his whole career, big swinger. So the market's got a good sort of expectation around him. But I'm all about Vido. Let's wait. We'll get a better price later if you miss that early price, but he's hard to beat down.
I'm with you. He was the starting point. I went through every other horse and I couldn't find one that beat him. So it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Yep, Vido in the 5th. Let's move on now to race number 6. This is the Donny Casbolt Classic for the 3-year-old fillies. It's a Group 3 set weights plus penalties. We've got a back and lay scenario here that is exactly the same salt. So when we were teasing at the top of the specs that we're best mates, and I'm not going to use the urinal analogy, but I think I used blowing bubbles, which was one of the strangest. We weren't lying because we're both backing Basset Babe and we're both laying Point Barrow, and it's very much map related in terms of the lay job for me.
There's been a bit of support for Basset Babe, 6 in a 5 with some corps, so you can still sort of shop around even money to play. So I don't know that we get much better than that. I think that money keeps coming. I've backed her early each way just because of that tactical advantage she's got. And, we want to be against Point Barrow. She's going to be back and buried. She was, only fair in that Oakley plate. This is obviously different gravy.
I thought she was disappointing.
Plate. Yeah.
Well, she had 50 kegs or whatever, didn't she? So I thought relative to what she was carrying and the market expectation of her, she was really disappointing.
Just from a map perspective as well, you just take her on here, clud it up, and you've got a good horse like Basset Babe rolling along. She ran the hands off the clock on debut. Her overall rating did rate down at start too, but there were 3 1250 metre races on that program. Hers was the fastest, and geez, late in the piece, she was clocked off. She's come down to Flemington and had a jump out. John McNeil should lead on her from barrier 1, and that gives her the advantage. I heard Peter Moody talk about, so they've put a crossover noseband on Alpha Sophie, because I was thinking I could forgive her.
Definitely. I was much the same.
Yeah, her fresh run was so good, late strength, fast overall time, and then she over-raced down the straight when heavily supported. It's easy to forgive, but he said, the crossover noseband goes on, they're going to ride her a bit colder. So that's another one that gives a head start to a nice filly in Basset Babe. So I'm in her camp. I back her each way, and I lay Point Barrow, who's too short, going up 8.5 kilos in the weights. Yeah,
I'm with you. I know Basset Babe she's faced much inferior opposition to this, but from a ratings perspective, she's still rating very well for a horse that has been touched off and soft on the line. There's so much under the hood that we haven't seen on this girl just yet, and the fact that she's drawn low for Jai McNeil, it just sets up for her to be huge on Saturday.
And who knows what's under the bonnet when something levels up.
Yeah, that's spot on. Yeah. Some can squib it, some can absolutely excel on it. Let's hope
I'm happy to find out of that.
Yeah,
price.
Absolutely. Particularly at $4.80 now with some corporates, but some good support around for her. Let's get to race 7 now. This is the Group 2 Sunline Stakes. This is for the fillies and mares, weight for age, 1,600 metres. Treasure the Moment anywhere near her best is just winning this, Sults.
If she repeats last start, we've got to be careful here. She will probably win.
Yes.
The odds are in her favour.
Yes.
I reckon $1.75 is fair. I think she'll go off $1.40, $1, maybe not $1.35, but I won't be surprised to see $1.40 because she has that fail on a heavy track Flemington, but every other run dating back to November of 2024 exceeds the winning standard of this race. She's thrown in at weight for age. She should have, I think, 6.5 kilos more on her back than the next best rated horse in Damask Rose if this happened to be under handicap condition. So she's so well placed dropping back a rung. And even her fresh run in the Futurity, she peaked late, she led, like she had a chance the tempo was even, but she was still all right. You know, she's beaten home by Pericles and she had Evaporate in behind her who went and placed in an all-star mile. It's just panels on these. From barrier 1, Dan Stackhouse takes a ride.
Yep.
Damien Lane not riding.
Yep.
They're not going to lead on her, but they'll probably just park in behind the lead and follow the leader. And I'm finding it extremely difficult to see her get beat.
Are you confident they won't lead on her? Like I'm feeling this.
I've heard him say that Matt Laurie said that she's going to be better with cover, and that's how they're going to
100%. She's going to be better with cover, but like she's sort of had a hand sometimes forced to lead in these races.
Astral Flame will lead though,
yeah,
and Philia will roll across. Aha's going to come out, so the Astral Flame and Philia roll across, and she just parks in behind.
This is absolute D-Day for her. If she can't put this race away, I do not know where that mare is at.
You know, second up last preparation when she had that setback off the big spike in the Memsey, she was off that setback and she still ran second to Pride of Jenny in the fee and she still beat home Tong Kitten.
Yeah. 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 No, I can't poke really any holes in her in this field. Like I could, if we're talking going to a Group 1 standard field, absolutely I would. But the way I'm just going to play the race is I'm going to have 1x3, maybe even a 1x4 on Philia because she's going to go forward from that wide draw. I think she's more than likely to run a drum Sults and she should have won the Matron Stakes last start. She was all bailed up. She was bolting. She's trending in the right direction now ahead of her third run in Victoria, out to 1,600 metres. I think she should be the outright second favourite in this race. So she gets weight off Damask Rose, will push forward, has a map advantage over that horse, or I don't know where she's at. She scared the pants off me last start in the Matron, but I'll play Philia 1x3 or 1x4.
You're right. She was unlucky in the Matron. Too Darn Discreet was excellent in the Matron. Just stays at 1,600 metres. I think maybe the Easter Cup for her. I just thought, she's going to be giving Treasure the Moment a head start, and she's not as good as Treasure the Moment.
Let's get to the Group 1. It's the William Reid Stakes. This has come up a tasty little field, hasn't it? Jimmy Star, $2.20. What's that, son?
Just let in my pencil.
I thought it was some sort of East Side is the best type. I thought you were Ali G-ing me or something, yeah.
He's West Stands massive.
Yeah. Jimmy Star I'm excited to see him go around. I think Barrier 1's interesting for him. Jigsaw on the 7-day backup. Tropicus, you've been in his fan club. Barrack back around a bend. Angel Capital, Charmstone, Razor Ray. It's a good Group 1 field.
It really is, but there's one standout horse, and it's Jimmy. You know that I think he's the best. I think he's the best sprinter in Australia until someone takes his mantle.
Yep.
This preparation. You know, his Everest run was just enormous. He's 3 wide, no cover. He's galloped on, and he's still contesting the finish, and then he just kills them in the boarding, and then far too good in the CF4. His jump out work is electric. He's still pretty lightly raced. I'm forecasting his best figures are ahead of him. And if that's the case, well, geez, he's got a bit of class on these. I know Tropicus ran a huge peak last start, and overall time with that weight in the Oakley Plate was excellent. But, there were huge gaps back through the rest because they're just not up to these. And, he had Hedged chasing him down with half a kilo more. Like, geez, Jimmy Star. I give Hedged a good chance in the Galaxy, but, as a handicapper, Jimmy Star's got miles of class on Hedged. Jigsaw will go forward on the backup. I think we're seeing, until he does it, we've seen some evidence that he does go well on the fresh side, and he's probably going to have to contest that.
How many pairs back?
I think he could potentially be leaders back or 3 pairs back the fence.
I think he'll be 3 pairs back the fence. That's where, and sometimes when you're 3 pairs back the fence, you are leaving it to the racing gods, regardless of how good Mark Zahra is. I agree with you. I think he's the best horse in the race. I'm shopping around at one. I think there's a hole in the market with this mare. I speak of Charmstone, who's becoming a fresh run beast because her last 2 fresh runs have been her 2 career peak performances in Group 1. She looped them in the Sangster to win. She had a great run box seating in the Manikato and won a big prize. Yeah, favours, but she gets an eerily similar map, I feel, again. So I'm looking at this map and the Manikato, and you've got Barrakiel again, who's probably just under half at price going around here, and she went past him like he was standing still in the Manikato. So she maps to get a similar run. She crosses Jimmy. I think she settles box seat behind Jigsaw and Tropicus. Jimmy might be buried with a bit to do. If she gets off at the right time and gets moving, she might be hard to catch. So I'm going to 1x3 Charmstone. I've already got a futures ticket on Barrakiel as well. So I'm cheering for Barrakiel, full disclosure. I've got him at 15. So that's the way I'm going to be sitting and watching and praying in the William Reid.
I have something on Tropicus at like $13 after he won the Oakley Plate for this race, but I don't think he'll be beating Jimmy Star. He just needs a modicum of luck, and he will probably brain these and then go on. He's already favourite for a TJ, and some of these wouldn't be able to get out of their own way in a TJ. And I love Tropicus, but this is different gravy.
Yeah,
he's different gravy. The best horse, the best jockey in the race. It's a bit of a recipe for success.
Do you have a long memory with Jimmy Star, or do you treat him as a new horse? Like, it was a couple of preps ago now where he's gone down to something like $1.26 at Flemington. Did he get beat by? Who did he get beaten by?
I think you made that up.
Nah, he went down at like a ridiculously short price on 2 occasions, and everyone hated him for a while.
I've got here his own.
I think he got beat by Macram. It was Macram at like $300 on BSP.
When he was, that must have been.
It was Flemington 1,400 metres early in his career. That Macram beat him at one of the biggest BSPs I've seen. Are you
using that as a form factor for the William Reid?
No, I'm just saying. I've got long memory as a punter. Do you trust these horses that can suck you in with short quotes when they might get back salty?
That is the worst. You cannot stand by that.
I'm adding a little bit of fury of fire. You can't stand by that.
20 starts ago or something, he was beaten by Macram at a short quote.
I'm waving flames just over the Jimmy Star fire over there, mate.
That is just horrific
Who
stuff.
got him as well? Another Will got him at a short quote as favourite.
Stuff.
Who else got him at a short quote? Up there at Newcastle, he got done at a short quote. Telling you so. It was $1.85 that day, finished 7th.
He's become a different horse.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just asking the question, mate.
He's also, 5 from 6 at Caulfield, and what's his fresh record? His fresh record is, first up, 4 from 6. Including and then a runner-up, and he's 5 from 6 at Caulfield.
Well, I hope for your sake he won't need the chopper from 3 back luckily, because you might need the flying doctor service.
Luckily, Macram's not here, so the best horse in the race should win.
I've black booked Macram, actually. I thought he was on a William Reid path, but apparently not. Let's get to race 9. This is the Group 2. It's the Alistair Clark Stakes. This one's come up interesting because Planet Red's gone here and commands a lot of market support, as you'd expect, because just brings the superior form in, but does like to get back in his runs. And I'm intrigued to know why you're siding with him, given how the track might be playing Salt City. Might be right out in that inferior going that you've been spruiking on the show. I
would be extremely surprised if he's back in the run today. He actually jumped with them in the Guineas. He had and then after 200 metres, he still had the back of the observer, and that's when Ethan Brown pressed the button, and that's when Jamie Mellum floated right back and basically took him out of the race. Mark Zahra is not going to be doing that today. There's no speed in this. He has panels on these, absolute panels. He'll put him into the race. We saw Mark Zahra do it with different gravy. When he went to that weak as staying race for 3-year-olds at Caulfield on the eve of the winter or the summer when he was getting back in his races, and Mark just said, well, no, he's got panels on these. I'll put him in the race. He will be putting him in the race. There's no speed, so he doesn't have to particularly use him up too early. We've seen him handle Caulfield. I'll be doing a nice little multi with Treasure the Moment into him, and I'm struggling to see it lose.
Yep, I'm having a couple of small each way bets in this race. Dad and Dave and Mr. Independent. I'm playing around at some big prices today at Caulfield. I feel like it's one of those weekends. Dad and Dave's a Launceston Guineas and Tassie Derby winner. Drops back in trip. I think he can use his fitness to settle more forward in, as you mentioned, a race that's just got no speed. And the other's Mr. Independent, who is just winning in outrageous fashion, this horse. Like, you'd probably want to be getting the thinking cap on and not letting your opposition get 5 lengths on you from when you've been leading and then coming again through the line to win. But he's improved from a ratings perspective every time he stepped out on the racetrack on the upward spiral. So I'm going to spec those two on an each way basis in the Alistair Clark.
You're going to have way odds. More of the place than win?
Yeah, probably little 1-3s.
3?
1-3s,
yeah, okay.
1-3s.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that it?
No, that was just a question. I was asking how that's
they're each ways. I won't have to have too much. I haven't worked out my staking for a lot of these yet. I'm just throwing 1.3. I haven't had the bets yet, but what are we looking? $4. They're both $4 to place.
Yeah.
Like, they're pretty good value.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, probably SULTS. In answer to your question, I'll release the spreadsheet later for the unit army. Race 10 on the program. This is an 84 over 1,400 metres. You've got a little two-better to round out the racing at Caulfield, and I'm buttering up on a mare that I thought was improved last start. I'll go first. I'll speak of gold medalist. I was with her at Flemington over 1,200 metres. She was really poor first up. She improved second up. She was beaten by a Dirty Grin who you were with that day. But she definitely signalled that she was somewhat back to near her best. She just maps to get the ideal trip here in behind the speed. So I can certainly make another 1x3 case for gold medalist at double figures.
I'm hitting this from a few angles. I'm having an each way bet, sort of 1x4 on Bullets High. Calvin Burke has got this gelding of Joe Pride, and I kid you not, he's improved him. He's got one off Joe Pride. He's taken it to Geelong, and this thing's humming. He didn't have his blinkers on first up at Caulfield in the race was won by Verdot.
Why are you so surprised?
Because Calvin Burke's got like 5 horses, and Joe Pride got Eduardo from the Moe stables and turned him into one of the best weight for age horses in the country. Shocked me, bloody stoned me, Trayman Crows.
Disrespectfully surprised.
No, it wasn't disrespectful, and Calvin's probably surprised. This guy worked through the line first up at Caulfield, sneaky good, and then he went off a big price in the Echuca Cup won by Hughes, and then the runner-up was Just a Deal, and I'm telling you this, he was a tragedy beaten. He was completely bolting with nowhere to go, and he gets a gap with 50 metres to go and then quickened like a horse that had a lot to offer. Stays at 14, but he's basically off a trial in that Echuca Cup. I reckon he blends in. He's a big price because he's from camp that brought him to town 2 back, and he started $100 in a camp that the market's just showing complete disrespect to. Well, I tell you, Calvin, I've got respect, and I reckon this guy's humming. A mare that's humming is an Enamorata. She won a good form race last start at Sandown. I'm waiting to see where the runner-up in that race goes. Name escapes me. Trapdoor for the Hawks team, because he was first up. There's 3 other winners in behind them. Gap back through the field. Time was fast. She was strong late. And she was wide and sort of below her best first up. And, maybe still not quite there second up. That fast race brings her on. And then they take her back to the jump outs to suggest that maybe they needed to bring her up to the mark more fitness-wise, and she chases home Jimmy Starr in a jump out. So any luck from a wide draw Bo Mertens, she's clearly the one to beat. Rightful favourite.
I think gold medalist jumped out with Macram though, so I think you're gone there, mate.
There was no market for that jump out, but Macram still was somehow priced $150. Hey, he used to win every time at Caulfield at Flemington at $150.
I'm telling you, I've got a long memory when it comes to people letting me down at $1.26. Not that I was in there at the $1.26, but
you would have jumped off Winks because she didn't win every start.
She did when she became Winks.
Well, Jimmy's about to when he becomes Jimmy. He's about to make it 3 in a row.
All right. Rosehill. It's a huge day of racing. It's like, this is just... My lead in the pencil moment of the week is Rosehill. Is that general enough for you, Salts?
No, that's good.
Yeah. Track conditions. Rails in the 2 metre position. And there is a little bit of a rain around later this week. Well, today, I think, in Sydney.
I've got the radar up at the moment, and there's some good rain passing through Rosehill at this minute. So the racing, or the Australian Turf Club website is actually quite good when it comes to live updates with the weather. So they only caught 1.2 mil yesterday. It was still in the good 4 range, and it will still be in the good 4 range at the moment, but sort of yet to update in terms of the rain that's hit today, because it's only sort of just got there. So we keep an eye on that. Here we go. 11.7 mil today since 9 a.m. So they've got a bit, still rated good, but I'm expecting some downgrades. This is where it gets a bit murky, Nick.
Because David, talk to me about the murkiness of Rosehill.
Up to 30 mil forecast to arrive later this evening, and then anywhere from 2 to 9 mil on Friday and 2 to 9 mil on race day. So, if none of that hits, we're on a soft 5, good 4, and if all of it hits, we're on a heavy track. So you do got to be nimble, but I'm setting up for a soft track, and that means with the rail 2 metres, we're going to sort of want to be lanes 3 to 9. The rail was true last week. They sort of edged off the fence a bit. There'll be some marking. The rain's calm. It's only negligible movement. So I think that they'll be getting a few lanes off the fence as the meeting goes on.
Yep. Well, we'll start in race number 2. This is the Mannion Cup. It's a Group 3. It's a quality handicap over 2,400 metres. You've been kicking up for Duakibo for a few weeks now on a Sydney Cup path, and you think this is well within his sights?
Yeah, him and Campbell-Dino come through the same race, as does Athabascan, LL Counts, Palmetto Star of India. That was 2,000 metres at Randwick last start in the Randwick City Cup. I thought his was the run of the race, Duakibo, because Campbell-Dino, although good, sort of was fencing run and covered up the whole time. He just pounced on the back of what was a really fast tempo set by LL Cants. I can't see her running out 24 today if she overdoes it like last start, and she's up in the weight too, so I can see her sort of not running out the trip. And although she has stayed to 26 in the past, I want to be against her again, although the run had some merit given she was first up. But he was the one sort of bringing up the leading pack, Duakibo, never with any cover. And he sort of just peaked on the run. He kept finding the line. He was 5 weeks between runs, 16 to 2,000. And once he got deeper into his preparation last prep on tracks that had some give in them, that's when he started excelling. In a pretty tough day at Rosehill, I've shopped a bit of value. He is my next best on the card.
Have you taken into account that he ran second at Bendigo this time last year in a 64 when he was the Foot Patrol?
Yeah, he was also my best bet of the day at Bendigo that day too. And who did he get nosed out by? Lightning Express.
Yeah.
He's come on since, hasn't he?
Well, to be fair, Lightning Express would be $1.80 here.
That's very true, yeah. He's fucking lightning.
Yeah,
and he's Express.
He is, it's true. It's two very fast. It's two very fast.
Yeah, if your name Lightning Express, you'd want to be slick.
Yeah, you'd want to be fast.
Yeah.
I'm backing Saganti in this race, Saltsy. I feel like he's a little bit forgotten about, this guy. So it is his 3rd racing prep in Australia. He only had the 1 run when he first came out here, and things haven't worked out for him since he has been on our shores. But if you look back to like his last 2 runs in France, they were over 2,400 metres. One of them he ran second to Sir Delius. He's had 18 months to acclimatise now. He gets to 2,400 metres for the first time since those runs in France when he was purchased to come out here and be a staying type. So he's in on the minimum. He's through a fast run 2,000 metre race at Caulfield where I thought he fought really bravely. He's a big price. He's my best each way anywhere in Australia on Saturday, Saganti. I thought he'd come up a big price in the second. So I'll be with him. Let's get to race 4.
I was just looking up. He hasn't won since Dan Andrews announced his resignation as Premier of Victoria, September 2023.
How many starts has he had?
Since September 2023.
Yeah.
I don't know, 14.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's Sir Delius 4. Second to Sir Delius is as good as a win in this crew, particularly it on the minimum. Race 4 on the program. This is the Derby Munro. This is a listed for the 3-year-olds. I couldn't find one here. I thought it was a cracker of a race. You've landed on the favourite in Skyhook. Just back Skyhook all prep.
Yeah, well, pays the bills.
I once heard an astute analyst say just back Skyhook all prep salts.
Well, if he did that, you would have lost because he lost his next 3. However,
the analyst wasn't very astute.
he won the Rosebud first up on a wet track last preparation, and then he hits the line in the Run to the Rose, finishes on the heels attempted and Baywalk, and then he's beats home several very good horses when 4th in a Golden Rose, which was in fast time, and then he draws in a Coolmore where he went off $13 but behind 10 Taurus and whatnot. He's the best horse in this race. His last preparation, he won first up off 1 trial. He's been tuned up with 2 trials, and to my eye, they're better this time in than last time. From barrier 3, Timmy Clark just tucks in behind them. He handles all surfaces. I'm happy to be in his camp.
Yep. Yeah, it's Skyhook in the Derby Munro. Let's get to race number 5. This is the Group 1 Ranvet Stakes. Weight for age 2,000 metres. This is it's come up. It's come up small, the field.
It's intriguing. It's not exactly a boil over given the market, but you're tipping a bit of an upset here.
I'm not. I'm not at all. I'm tipping Sir Delius.
That's an upset, mate.
I'm not seeing it as an upset.
It's only 2 horses.
It's seriously a match race.
Yeah.
Like, it seriously is a match race. But how the hell has, like... I mean, I know Aliana was good last start, and she went to the line with arguably the best horse in Australia. But Sir Delius, let's be frank, he wasn't there to win. It was a pipe opener. He had a pipe opener last start. He's the best horse in this race. His CV suggests he's the best horse in this race. He's a dual Group 1 winner. He turns the tables on Aliana. I'm confident.
Really?
He turns the tables on Aliana on Saturday. Yeah.
I think
this is 2,000 metres
She
now.
might be better suited like in a slow race.
He gave her a cold. 2 starts ago on the Turnbull, he gave her a cold, and you can say, oh, a coat didn't come up and she's a different horse now. But he literally left her for dead.
Yeah, she was good late in that Turnbull. Good through the line.
Yeah, she was all well and good. She was late. Craig Williams was having a frothy with the owners in the room by the time they all crossed the line, mate.
Well, I'm not backing her, mate. You don't need to get angry at me.
I'm getting mad at the market salts. I think given the lead in, if you're pricing it up off last start, sure, Aliana be favourite. But the discrepancy between them two in the market, 2,000 metres with him second up, is disrespectful.
She's got a better platform, though.
It's disrespectful.
When they clashed in that Turnbull, he was third up. Now he's only second up. She's third up. She's got a bit of a better platform.
He's a better horse.
Yeah, okay.
Race 6, let's go head-to-head. Rosehill Guineas, set weights 2,000 metres. It wasn't the head-to-head I thought we're going to have 3 weeks ago, because I've been kicking up for Attica to win the Rosehill Guineas for some time. And
there's a reason they didn't come here, because Autumn Boy belted his head in last start in the Randwick Guineas.
Well, I can't
didn't get near him.
Well, I can't, we're just arguing something that can't happen here, so it's pointless. But let's argue something that can happen, and that's Observer beating Autumn Boy.
Yeah, okay. Well, I Observer. It's not like I dislike the horse or whatever.
You hate him. You called him friggin' broadsiding.
I backed him at $31 in a Caulfield Guineas, where he was unlucky not to cross the line with Autumn Boy, and then just
hang on a moment.
He should have won the race.
Just because you're backing Autumn Boy here, don't change your tune, because I stood next to you on Caulfield Guineas Day, and it was the biggest tragedy beaten in the history of racing.
He should have won the race.
And now you're with Autumn Boy, you're like, oh, he should have crossed the line with him.
He should have won the race. He at least made it a contest.
Yeah.
And then I just completely poleaxed him when he went to Moonee Valley the next start. But
yeah.
I think he's being spoken about as like this champion, and I'm not
from this side of the room.
There's a bit of broadsiding about him. I don't have him as a champion. He's certainly not unbeatable. He's won at 2,000 metres, whereas Autumn Boy's getting there for the first time, but he's always struck me as a horse that will excel once he gets to 2,000 metres, Autumn Boy. And he's on. They're taking him to 2,000 metres because they want to get a guide on him going towards a Cox Plate. And I think he's a Cox Plate horse. I think he'd have a much better chance at winning a Cox Plate than Observer. You know, he was beaten 3 lengths last start in the Randwick Guineas, but it was to one of the best horses in Australia.
Yeah.
If Peter Moody didn't change their path, all of a sudden we'd be saying, oh, geez, he's belted Attica and Ninja and he's flying and he's run the fastest close of the race in fast time. Like his was still second fastest close in that pretty slick run Randwick Guineas. I think it tops him off pretty well. And you don't worry about Observer getting things soft up front because the guy that's going to follow him everywhere he goes is Autumn Boy.
And this is the thing I love about this race is like I won't have any excuses, and we get to put our money where we're.
I don't think either of us will have an excuse.
That's the best part of this race, and we get to find out on Saturday who is the better horse out of these two. And Observer, he doesn't have the sexy ratings profile, but he's got this desire to win, ability to put himself into the race. And for Autumn Boy to be better than him, he's got to pass him, and I love that prospect. So I'm happy to back in my view on what I think Observer is, and you're doing the same with Autumn Boy.
I am, yeah. Any issue, he's been just flying for Ethan Brown and Mark Zara. Craig Williams gets on, rode him once, and he got a bit barbecued that day at Flemington.
Yeah.
He can go pretty slow up in the lead,
Yeah.
Craig.
Yeah.
He can go real slow up front, and that probably will suit, I reckon, Autumn Boy.
Well, hopefully he's got his eye in after Sir Delius giving Haliana a cold 30 minutes prior.
Let's speak about the market.
Yep.
Because, in all-in betting, when they knew where both of them were going, Observer was favourite, but it's flipped since the barrier draw and since final acceptances. And I think even since opening prices, Autumn Boy's been pretty well supported. That is owing to that sexy profile that you speak of.
Yep.
He has 3 peak ratings that are bigger than Observer's peak rating. So the markers kept him on side. And you've also got the input of James McDonald, who's just riding everything to win as well. So that's where that input is, even though he hasn't been to 2,000 metres before. I don't know that not being to 2,000 metres before changes that market late in the piece. I think it stays pretty solid, and he goes off favourite Autumn Boy.
I think it's a really fair analysis of the market there.
I think I have the market pretty close to right now.
Okay. Can we just fucking loll at James McDonald's rides on the weekend as well? Like, I know there's a lot being said about his record, and I know that you and I probably don't find, jockeys breaking records that exciting. But when you see when you see the hand of rides that he has versus potentially someone like a Damien Oliver whose record he's going to break from back in the day, you're just like,
He's got a couple of big odds though, doesn't he?
It's a bit of a platter, mate. Like, he's got a layup with Autumn Glow, which we'll speak to in a moment. He's got Autumn Boy. He's got Aliana $1.65. From a market perspective, this is a complete and utter layup. Like, you look at Aliana, who Zach Lloyd...
Is Aliana a layup now?
Well, no, but like from the market perspective, like in terms of you look at someone like Zach Lloyd, who has to ride Aliana when she faces Autumn Glow, but then soon as...
It is a bit harsh, that...
Like, it's just...
So... If Zach Lloyd rides Aliana all prep...
This is what I'm saying.
He gets booted off for the Group 1.
He gets torched.
And then if he rides Aliana again, it's going to be against Autumn Glow.
So then he'll get beat by James McDonald. This is why it's like... This is why it's hard to buy in.
He is the best, though.
He is the best, but this is why it's hard to buy in and feel any real emotion around a jockey when you're just like jumping onto Chris Waller's best horse every time, or who they rate as their best horse.
It's not something that gets my emotions
lead in the pencil.
Yeah, that certainly doesn't get lead in the pencil.
Yeah, that's, let's get to race 7. We obviously aren't betting in this race, being the George Rider with Autumn Glow going around. I thought this is a big watch, this race, with a few runners heading towards the Doncaster.
You're right.
So that's an exciting angle. Like, you don't have to have a bet in the race for this race to be exciting, because you get to see, in my view, the best horse in Australia go around at $1.30, piloted by James McDonald, who might just already have broken the record by this stage, Salty. But yeah, it's come up. I mean, it's come up pretty well, the George Rider, considering. Like, you think about horses dodging Autumn Glow.
Well, it's because of the Doncaster.
Yes, yeah. And
it's the bridging run.
And it's avoiding weight, isn't it?
Yes, yep.
But yeah, what barrier 7? She just lobs 1-1 and wins again, doesn't she?
I didn't give the race much time. But
Yeah.
I'll be listening to where she is on the radio.
Let's get to race 8. This is the feature of the day. It is the Golden Slipper for the 2-year-olds. You're not betting in this race, Sults.
Nah.
You are so off juveniles. You're being juvenile about the juveniles.
It's because of the wet track.
Okay.
I have Cheyenne on top because she's really the only one in her last start that has showed late strength off a solid tempo, and she brings in the best last start run. And she comes through the diamond form, which we're all saying is pretty good. And I know she was beaten by Streisand in the diamond, but she was like 6 or 7 wide, no cover.
Yeah.
Like she had a really, really torrid run. Not in the right part of the track really either. So she was entitled to be beaten longer than what she was. And then she belts that thing that comes down to Melbourne and runs well. You know, I know Big Wig's not the form, but they belted the rest. So,
Yep.
you know, the form around her is pretty good. I've got a ticket on Warwoven. As soon as he crossed the line in the Skyline, when I thought that probably got him into the slipper in the inferior going, they wound him out to, I think, $10.
Yeah.
And then he sort of come back in. I wanted to see a bit more in the Pago. He draws awkward. I'm on him, so, you know, I want him to win because I'll collect. But in terms of race day assessment, just the wet track and how much speed there's in the race, where it's drawn, this is very messy.
It's quite extraordinary, that futures market, Warwoven. Like you've actually won a race and gone out in the market. It's fucking unfair. I'm with you. I've got a ticket on Warwoven. I've also got a ticket on Streisand as well. Like Warwoven, being wet and a high tempo sort of race, maybe that leads into the 7-day backup. Like maybe that can be. I'm looking through the lens of that as. That's a tick. Blinkers going on for the first time. I think you think that's a bit of a throw at the stumps.
Well, it felt like a bit of a throw at the stumps because he needed to pretty much win or at least run top 2 last start to get in. So to get in, they didn't put the blinkers on.
Maybe Bjorn's just an absolute master and he just knew how good he was going. He'd be topped up for the 7-day backup. The other Streisand, I just want to be with Streisand. Like, if the Vic form is the best form and we've been singing from that hymn sheet for some time, to be fair, poo-pooing the Sydney runners, then she's the number 1 seed. So she's done absolutely nothing wrong, Streisand. So I still think she's a pretty big price.
I don't know if this gets, like, let's say Cheyenne wins because they talk about, you know, Vic trained horses. She debuted at Caulfield, Cheyenne, but they've got like satellite stables.
I'd say
now she's stabled at Warwick Farm.
I'd say she's a Sydney horse.
So she's a Sydney horse.
Yeah, because I'd say the Archibalds are Sydney trainers that have a satellite stable.
Yeah.
So I'd say she's a Sydney horse.
Right. Damn it.
Yeah, I didn't mind the angle,
Thanks, bro.
but it was fucking stupid.
Yeah. Such a dickhead. Sometimes I don't even know why I talk.
Race 9 on the program. This is the Galaxy. It's a Group 1 handicap, 1,100 metres. Dirty old hedged.
Jeez, he's flying.
Yeah,
isn't
he's
he?
flying. Yeah, he is.
He is flying.
He's flying.
He should
Don't you have a pattern on him? Like one good run, one bad run, one good run.
Well,
is that
that's-
still working out?
It's not really because he should have won the Rubiton.
Yeah.
Like he was held up very badly in the Rubiton and he should have won, which would then make it 3 good ones in a row. Even though he did rate down
We
in
hate
the Rubiton.
consistency.
He did rate down
Yeah.
in the Rubiton, so it looks on his profile that he did go spike at Pakenham, rate down, spike in the Oakley Plate, but it should be 3 in a row. It's just airborne. The wet track is a bit mixed. Like he doesn't have a great deal of wet track exposure. And we also only need to judge him on his recent form because he's in career best form. His Oakley Plate run was very good. He had 59 kilos. He was back wide. He completely brained the rest. Gallant Sun then went and placed in a new market. Like, it's not the worst form for a handicap.
So I just wonder how many times he can continue to go to the well with a state swap. But like, there's enough in the price. I understand why
He
you're going
hasn't
there.
swapped states this preparation at least. So
Yeah.
this is the first time. His jump out between runs was good. There's some question marks over the surface and like does he end up fencing run? I think Tim Clark will be doing everything he can to hold him off the fence, but he's really the one in this market that I found a bit of a hole in. I can price him shorter. I reckon he will start shorter as well on the exchange. He's got some good numbers that plug into the system late in the piece, and I think some of the people betting late will gravitate to that, and he'll trim up a little bit late in the piece. So he's the one I'm going to play the race each way hedged.
Yeah, I'm going to have 2 bets. I'm backing Grafter Burners, who is just on a complete upward spiral in so light here with Zach Lloyd. Finally, Zach can get one off J-Mac because of the weights. So good on you, Zachy boy. Go you. He's just ticking every box. Like I know he's got his latest rating, which was a huge spike, and it was on that Gold Coast track, so you can perhaps take that a little bit with a grain of salt. But it's the fashion that he's actually been winning in. He looks like a proper colt on the up, does Grafter Burners, and I didn't mind the Doomben jump out between runs as well. He's going to take some beating, Grafter Burners. The other who I want to spec, who's touched like $20 now, is Bridal Waltz. She's going well, this mare. Like, she's right down in the weights as well, 51.5 kilos. Luke Cartwright gets a good opportunity to pinch a Group 1, and, you know, she'll be right up there on the speed, second up for the Moody Coleman team. I'm going to have something small on Bridal Waltz as well, Salts.
I wanted to follow her off her fresh run. I wasn't sure about the conditions for her, and still I think it's going to be quite a fast 1,100 metre race. I still reckon she'll be better suited, you know, once she gets to this company dictating at 12. I've got some question marks on Bridal Waltz. I know he's got that good number from last start. And, you know, the horse that he beat, Nashville Jack, then got beaten by Get a Good Feeling. But he did beat Savvy Halley, Grafter Burners. Yeah, he did beat Savvy Halley, but maybe she was just a bit off her game. It wasn't that long ago he was beating Damien by a nose at Doomben.
Yeah, no, I'm fully understand the inferior company he's been facing.
Yeah, I think he's too short. I reckon you'll get a bit of a better price on him later on the exchange. He looks a bit tight now.
Who comes in? Like Briasa? Briasa's just a D-Day horse, isn't it?
It's not as much as to, you know, who I'm identifying to come in. It's just I'm not sure like the volume on him will be there, and I reckon he'll get pushed out.
What'd you make of Briasa?
The draw's negative for him.
Draw, yeah,
the draw is negative, and we know they can't really push the button on him because they know he'll get torched if they push the button on him from that draw.
Well,
and
they should have pushed the button on him in the Everest.
Sights.
They just sat out there and torched him anyway. I think if you're going to sit out there, you've got to show some intent to either go forward or go back.
It's a big weight to carry versus the rest of the field
in
a high pressure race. That's another Grafter Burners. He hasn't seen high pressure. Kelly Sweeter, I heard talking to Gareth this morning. He wasn't that happy with that horse because he said that he planned to jump it out last week on 2 separate occasions, and the jump outs got washed out, and then he was going to jump it out on Tuesday, and then he didn't want to give him too strong a hit out close to the race day, so he erred against it, and he's a little bit like he's not sure if he's done the right thing. He's missed some work.
I think Kelly Sweeter's a little bit of a glass half empty type operator. I think Gareth gave him $100 once before, and he had it on another horse in the race. That is true. I don't think he's a full sort of optimistic operator. So
this is a good race, mind you. It's a cracker. This is what a handicap should be.
Yeah, no, there's some good winning chances in there. Reserve Bank's another first up who can fire fresh. Obviously, you're with Hedged. I'm with Bridal Waltz and Grafter Burners. We might move on now, Salty, to Morphettville Parks. We're over on the Parks track on Saturday, thanks to Dare to Dream. And it's the sales in Adelaide this week, the Magic Millions. I've got my filly going through the ring
pretty
tomorrow.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to have a squeeze at it.
Yeah, I'm actually in Adelaide tomorrow for the game. And I've noticed I'm landing at 11 and she's due to go through the ring at about 12. So I'm going to go watch her. I had a dream last night.
You dared to dream.
I dared to dream. I had a dream last night that she was at Stale Topper at $2.8 million. So anything less than that is a fucking failure. All right?
You're going to be...
Yeah.
You're going to be flat. Mate.
So I'm going in like full head of steam going, you know, I want
Do you
this
know
sale.
a lot
If
number
this sale
so people can follow?
If this sale goes well, it's a 3-ump system at Adelaide on Friday night.
I like that.
Yeah.
Do you know her lot number?
Her lot number is 282.
282.
Yeah,
All
she's
right,
a
beautiful.
She is by Fierce Impact out of a done deal mare, Ideal Rose. It's her first foal, so it's pretty exciting. It's me, Mick Sharkey, and my mate Blom. We've had this little project going, so hopefully someone puts their hand in their pocket and bloody buys her for a big price.
Well, Dare to Dream will be on the scene because they're going to be filming a lot of content and whatnot for their social media. So be sure to follow them on Twitter, also Instagram as well. We do a lot of collabs with them on Instagram. Easy to find through our pages.
Collabs. Morphettville Parks, what's the track doing?
Rail 9 metres, 1,000 to winning post. Good for 2 recent meetings with this rail. They've run on down the middle to the outside. I'm not sure about sticking hard fence here.
Really? Is it what's the eternal
a good
good
fall.
fall? It's
Good
eternal.
fall.
Eternal good fall.
Mm-hmm.
Race 7 is a benchmark 72 over 1,400 metres. Just one of the old dogs here, just sort of popping their head up, Sults, saying, "Back me again."
We backed him to back tap in for par, and he he should have won the race. He was held up fence. He dived back to the inside. I was watching with a group of mates at a wedding, and it cut out at the sort of 200, the reception, and we're all like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, he's held up. Oh, he's tanking here." And then it came back at like the 20, and he was diving through the line, and we were just so flat.
What's going? Well, they're on the 3G network out there where the wedding was. Yeah,
sort of real sort of tree coverage and rivers and
channeling some caviar.
That's it. He had excuses last start. Race shape was against leader. Actually didn't go that hard and then kicked away. There's good pace in this race. I want him just to blend off, have last crack, back him each way. Race 7, tap in for par.
Race 9 on the program. This is a benchmark 72. One here for Stokesy and the Troppo Oppo.
Well, we want to be against Mystic Wonder. This mare was beaten 13 lengths last start off a wide run, and I reckon she's a bit of a control freak. She went back to the trials between runs and seemed to move okay, but still looked like she wanted to get in front when she was wide. And there's speed underneath here, and lots of it. So I reckon she works to find that lead, and if she can't, then I'm in the firm camp that she'll pop.
Bit of a control freak. Bit of a red flag for you, Saltsy, is she? Don't like those.
Yeah, I reckon it's a good character strength.
Okay. So
Say so myself. So I'm with Nickish tonight.
Nickish.
She ran home meeting fastest close last start over 1,000 metres. It's 1 over 12 in the past. Oppo rides, but the way I'm setting up for this track to play, you can make ground and there's speed on. So I think it sets up well for her.
Last on the program, 10 races over there on Saturday. You're with Sir Randolph here, Alicia Warren and the Clarkin stable combined.
Well, we backed him and tipped him on the podcast last time, and he was $31 in the 850 no deductions. And from barrier 11, he got dragged back to Glen Elg, and then he was only beaten length. He just missed the place, which was extremely costly. But his last 200 was fastest of the day. They just have to be closer from a better gate today. I think he's flying and he handles all surfaces.
Yep, Alicia Warren sticks for you there, Saltsy.
Yes, don't drag him back because he hasn't drawn wide.
Time for 2 units, our best back and our best lay on Saturday. And I am going into the Rosehill Guineas. Mano e mano. I'm with Observer. That's my best back of the day. And
Are you not at all worried?
Do I look worried?
A little bit.
A little concerned. Why would I be?
I'm just asking.
Worrying's for poor people.
That's good.
Yeah, so
I like it.
best back
It's
Observer.
led in the pencil that moment.
Yeah, it is always led in the pencil. And best lay, I guess we go with best lay, is Point Barrow in the Levi Casbolt Classic. I reckon she gets buried away, and I think she's just a little bit overhyped. So
I reckon 50% of the time you're right, and I reckon you're right with Point Barrow. I want to lay her. My best back is the best sprinter in the country against handicappers.
Sir Randolph.
Jimmy Starr in the William Reid.
Okay. Outstanding. Good episode, Sults. Felt like there's a bit of this, but we're mates at the end of the show still, yeah?
As long as we can both come away winners, we can share the spoils.
I think we can share the spoils.
We'll dominate early, that's for sure.
Oh, God, it'll be a good start. Might just have to flick the phone off after that or put you on mute, perhaps. Units, all the very best across the weekend. Come back next week because I'm sure there's plenty of great racing. God knows what's on the program. I haven't even thought that far ahead. But it's
Australia Cup? Yeah, Australia Cup.
Cup.
Something else will be going up in Sydney.
Who cares? It's Slipper Day and William Reid Stakes Day. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.